There's a new button on this. I didn't know there was a new button on this.
A new button.
There's a new button on this.
There's a new button?
Hey, yeah. Let's run this again.
Okay.
This never happened.
Yeah, okay, let's start.
Yeah, all right.
Welcome to Tinker Tailor Solder Fry here on the mighty Loading Ready Run Video Entertainment Network's 2024 Sub-A-Thon. My name is Ian Horner. I will be your guide through tonight's festivities and projects. And of course, we've got, well, not as usual, we've got Ben on the ones and twos over in the Crystal Gondola.
Yeah, we let Paul go home.
Yeah.
He told me some of the things.
Well, I'm sure he's watching and feels very good about his choices.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, today we're cooking in the moon base, and you might note that I've only got an hour to do the things here, and that's because this is not going to be finished today. This is going to be a longer term Tinker Tailor Solder Fry cooking episode. I don't usually get to do sous vide on here because usually doing a sous vide recipe means that you do some work, generally about an hour, and then you stick it in a machine with a tub of water for up to 36 hours, which is exactly what we're going to do with this pork belly right here. It's here over there. There we go. Yeah, this is a recipe that's adapted from Serious Eats. It's a 36-hour pancetta, and what we're going to do quickly is we're going to take the pork out. We're going to make a little spice rub for it, and then we're going to seal it up inside that container at a certain temperature for 36 hours, and then on Saturday morning, we'll pull it out, dry it off, and then we'll deep fry it and slice it up for some delicious snacks for the finale for everyone. So, we should probably just get started here with this. Otherwise, we don't want to go over time, do we? I'm going to pull out my my handy-dandy recipe program here. And for this recipe, we might as well go through what you need. You're going to need, well, this is why I say it's an adapted recipe, because the recipe calls for a whole skin-on pork belly with rind, about 12 to 15 pounds. This is not 12 to 15 pounds. This is about 2 pounds. So we're going to adapt the recipe down a bit. But what we're going to do is add a little bit of black peppercorns, some whole fennel seed, some red pepper, some chopped rosemary, thyme leaves, and 2 to 3 cloves of garlic. I forgot to bring the microplane for, but that's okay. We can just mince. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. And some kosher salt and baking powder. Here's the thing that's a problem. Victoria has a problem right now. I have been trying to refill my salt cellar for the past 3 weeks, and nobody seems to have kosher salt in stock. There's plenty of sea salt. There's plenty of diamond, not even diamond crystal. There's plenty of smaller, finer sea salt, but no kosher salt. And similarly true for kitchen twine. So I was able to find some cotton thread that will work out for this. But yeah, we're going to cut this open, dry it off, toast some spices, rub it together, tie it up in a nice roll, and then get that thing going in the machine. So yeah, let's start by, we certainly let this this pork come to a good temperature. I have washed my hands because that's an important thing to do before you cook, but I'm gonna glove up here anyway, just to make it a little bit easier to do things. I think what I'm gonna do is toast the spices first, because there's no reason it can't, and we probably want them to come down in temperature just a bit before we rub it onto even before we grind it and rub it onto the pork. So we are going to use the peppercorns and fennel seeds. Those are the ones that are going to get toasted for about 2 minutes. And then we need salt, pepper, fennel, thyme, herbs, and garlic. So everything else goes in there afterwards. How much salt do they want? They just say kosher salt. Well, we're going to spend a long time grinding then. because it asks to season liberally with salt and then sprinkle. All right, let's get started by crushing some garlic and toasting some fennel and black pepper. Let's get out our handy dandy induction heater here. The reason I'm doing this is also partially just to drive everyone else in the studio see a little bit crazy during movie night with the smell of fresh spices.
I had a feeling that's what it's going to be tonight. Is just delicious pork and spices.
Yeah. So they're calling for, if we properly scale things down, a third of a tablespoon of fennel seeds. So I'm just going to eyeball some of these measurements here a bit. That seems pinchable. Sure. That seems like a fifth. And same amount of black peppercorns, eh? So this is not going to take too long to toast these up. There we go. That seems quite nice. Put those away there. I know we love this bossa nova, but it always does make me feel like I'm invading on Lazy Game Reviews shtick.
Is this what they use?
This is exactly the same music they use.
The royalty-free metas converge.
Yeah, it's a good song. Okay, good. That's something else. Not anything that's being made here. We probably want 400 for toasting our spices, I think.
Hey, Ian.
Yes.
Do you know what category you normally stream this under?
There's usually a makers and craft. No, food is when I do a food.
Is food one now?
Yeah, I think food is actually a full-on thing. Let's wait for this to come up to temperature here. Don't touch the pan. Oh yeah, that's starting to get there. I really need to start bringing along my thermometer for these sorts of things. So I've in the past few months started using a infrared thermometer from the Princess Auto as a cooking thing, just to check pan temperatures and exterior temperatures, and it's really handy for that sort of thing, just knowing exactly how hot your pan is without having to put anything in it.
I mean, a finger is like the thermometer of the flesh.
Yeah, you're not wrong. The finger of the flesh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Your flesh thermometer.
That's starting to get toasty real quick. You can hear it start to, I don't know if it's coming through the microphone, but there's a little bit of crackling coming on. Ooh. Yeah, toast your spices, people. Very useful. You know, there's one problem with doing a cooking visual program, and that's you can't also participate. Okay, that's it. We're good. Can't participate in the glorious smell that this is putting down. I think we just put that down, yep, because it's no longer putting off heat. And I can grab the sides and yank that over to the side. Okay, let's let that cool down for half a second while we prepare our pork. And we can just get everything in the grinder and start putting that together. All right, let's slice in here, and I'm gonna try and keep this roughly bag-shaped. Ooh, yes, let's put on those gloves now so that we can preserve our unporked hands. Our flesh thermometers. Oh. What I'd really like is actually on one of these cabinets back here behind me, to just have it be able to spin around and have a small sink right there where I can just toss wet things and do quick hand rinses. Okay. There we go. It's nice and open. Let's get a nice little bed for that to live on for the moment. Come on up, pork. It's your big moment. And grab another paper towel, and we're gonna just dry off that skin on top. It's very important to keep your meats dry during the cooking process if you want that Maillard reaction. That said, if you're sous videing, do what you want, but make sure it's dry before you go to the fry. Okay, so first things first, what we're going to want to do to increase some surface area and really give us something to let the spices settle into is we're going to score it in a diamond pattern. And I'm just checking to see if I need to do it on both sides or just the one side. It smells spicy in here, doesn't it?
Good in here.
All right. Wow. Okay, I've done this wrong in the past. No indication of which side. So we're going to do both sides. So an inch apart, just score the flesh. Not too deep, just enough that you're providing some extra surface area. And then I really should have sharpened my knife before today. It's that time. There we go. And then this will also, once it's in the deep fryer, spread things out into a big old lattice of deliciousness. Once you've got your initial lines scored, go back and do it in again to complete the diamond patterning. Lovely looking pork. I've had this in my freezer for quite a while now, actually. Not too long, but long enough I've been saving it for a special occasion, and this seems special enough. All right, let's do a quick score. Very cognizant of this pan just next to my arm here. I'm going to move that handle away so I don't just yeet those spices directly into the bookshelves.
The spice is starting to waft its way into the tech office. It's
oh,
nice.
Good.
We're just going to permeate the entire moon base.
Well, hopefully the cooking smells of it actually stewing in the underwater won't leak out. If that happens, something has gone horribly wrong. That looks great. Okay. I'm just going to wipe off the hands a bit. And we're going to set this over here for now while we work on the rest of the spice. Actually, I'm going to set that back in its little area, in this bag, so we can use that cutting board to take care of the garlic as well. So, we're going to want 3, well, if it wants 3 cloves, then I want to give it 4 cloves. That's just how I am.
I'm the same way.
All right, that didn't work. Garlic is hard to get into with gloves. I'd like to let people know. There we go. That's 1, 2. Oh, these are big cloves too. 3, and let's get just 1 more for luck. And in you go to go home. Ooh. That's another thing we have a problem getting in Victoria is good fresh garlic. This one's already starting to sprout. Again, it probably isn't going to be too effective of the taste, but
That's kind of why I ended up migrating a little bit to like pre-minced garlic. Like I'm absolutely with you on the like get a clove, you know, and do that. But it's like the pre-minced stuff, you know, at least feels a little fresher at times. I don't know.
I gave it a good college try, and I could tell the difference, and it was enough that I was not pleased enough. I'm tempted to give the pre-peeled stuff a try. I haven't done that yet, but did I get all of them? Nope, there's the last one. This is always the hardest part of this show, is figuring out what to do with the trash that you generate.
I'll be right back.
No, thank you. I think we're going to figure out something to do with the trash. Okay, well, while that's happening, I'm just going to transfer the spices to a smaller bowl so that we can then get those into the grinder. There we go. That's good enough. Clean surfaces. Just sweep it in. Okay. Actually, in that case, I can probably just swipe that into the pan for now. And we can work on mincing up that garlic, getting it good and minxed. Let's get those ends off. Nobody needs that in their food. Oh, I hear a good sound coming. Tossed salad in garbage bags. Give them a pre-crush. Okay, that's great. That is absolutely fantastic, is what that is. All right. Please ignore my terrible technique for cutting. Okay, once we get those in there. Whew, this is not good looking garlic.
I found when I did cooking streams from home that like the knife technique is always the thing that you feel like the most self-conscious about.
Because people will talk about it.
Oh yeah.
Like, oh.
But you know what? If you sliced it and diced it, then I think you got the job done.
I agree. As long as there's not too much of the wrong type of blood in your food.
Yeah, and that just cooks off anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, a bit more minciness. I had to up my mince technique earlier this week when I was making an experimental batch of gyoza. It was fantastic and a complete success, so look forward to that possibly making its way to a Tinker Tailor episode near you.
What was experimental about it?
That I've never done it before.
Oh, okay. Yeah. You were just like creating a new type of gyoza.
I mean, I almost did.
Yeah.
I think the next version, the version I made was Kenji Lopez Alt's recipe for standard gyoza. And I think I'm going to add a couple extras next time as flavorants. Namely, some shiitake mushroom and a little bit of, what's the other one? Lotus root for texture and flavor. Because it all gets minced down, but that lotus root will maintain its tooth all the way through. So I feel like that'll be really nice. Okay, I'm happy with that mince, to be honest. We're gonna call that done. Please leave the knife. Great. Let's put that in one of these prep bowls with we can grind to it. These were a brand new addition to my kitchen set today because I've been looking for prep bowls that are A, metal, B, about this size, and most importantly, that don't have a lip around the edge of the bowl. So many of them do, and when you add that rolled edge, it makes pouring more difficult, it makes getting them clean more difficult because you end up with little bits of water and moisture underneath.
Well, I really like the, like, it looks like it's like quite like hammer-shaped metal almost, you know?
Yeah. So, and $3 for 2, you can't go wrong with the price.
You know what I really miss?
Saving money?
Yes. I was going to say the Daiso.
Yes. Oh gosh, yeah. I keep forgetting to go there every time I head to Vancouver. All right, that's the garlic. What else do we need? Let's just give these a wipe again. Let's see here. Let's take these off actually for a moment. Ooh, some people are getting Daiso near them. Lucky.
I remember when you and I used to do conventions out in Vancouver, and that was you know, getting up on stage, doing funny improv.
That was
for
nice,
anime
yeah.
kids. That was fun. Going to the Daiso before we went back to Alberta, that was the real good
See,
biz.
that's why we make ourselves able to require going to the Daiso.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. Oh, I didn't bring everything for this. That's okay. I don't need everything, potentially. But what we do need is a bit more thyme and a bit more rosemary and a bit of the other stuff in the bowl. So let's just toss in some red pepper. Not too much. 1/5 of a tablespoon. A little pinch of thyme. Okay. Similar idea for the rosemary. Oh, dang it. I thought I was so smart. So, yeah, I've had to resort to using a prop Himalaya sea salt container for my salt recently. I was thinking, oh, I can just pull the cap off and get it in the grinder and we can grind everything together. Oops, no. So.
I mean, we've got a hammer.
Hammer? Ooh. I think I've used that on a cooking show, a regular old hammer, at least once. All right, let's grind up our spices, and then we can grind up our salt on top of that, and then we can get to working that into the, oh, right, I don't need that. We can get to working that into the pork. Yes, there we go. Now I'm just wondering, I should check the grind level. Oh, that looks actually quite good for a spice rub. Oh yeah, oh. Ooh, yeah, that smells real good. The pepper, the red pepper, the fennel, which we toasted, and our other good rosemary and thyme. I recently attached my drill to the top of this as a way of speeding up a very large grind session. And it was too much for the old drill. A bunch of plastic parts on the inside. Just decided it was time for them to just explode, which was odd, but it's a 25-year-old drill, so I think its time is done. Back to the Princess Auto with you. All All right, let's grind and kind of just judge from the top what we've got salt-wise. Sean, I'm just using regular red pepper, and they're not even flakes. They're the full red pepper bulb. Like, I'll give it this. At least it grinds relatively quickly. For an unopenable installed grinder on a 250 Tower of Sea Salt. Okay, I think that's starting to get up into the teaspoon area, so maybe just a bit more. Because that's a lot of meat, and it needs to make its way through. We're also going to end up wiping a lot of the congealed juices off the top of the pork once we bring it out of the sous vide, and we'll use that to make a sauce. Or at least we can use that to make a sauce. Whether or not we will remains to be seen. But, all right. At this point, we just add the everything into the pork, and then we'll go ahead and start our tying up portion. So I should probably prepare the string first before I get, and probably the bag too. All right, so where's the end of this string? There we go. So I'll probably want, I'm gonna say 2 or 3, let's say 3 sections of tie down. And this is to keep the pork's shape while it cooks. Come on. I do enjoy doing cooking streamings in Studio A, but sometimes you forget things, and then it's a lot harder to deal with. Like, say, having scissors as opposed to cutting string with a knife. You make it work. You make do. All right, let's leave those out here, and gonna, you know, I'm just gonna push this over here. Stand up and bring the food saver out. Actually, I'm gonna put the stove back on the floor. We're done with you. You are no longer relevant. All right, and that's trash. Ooh, a fresh roll. You folks are lucky. You get to see the fresh roll of vacuum bag. I guess. I don't think it has a different name. Food saver film. Either way, it's a.
You can say the flavor savers.
Yeah, it's Costco branded though, so be aware. Other brands are available.
Do you have a Costco card? Membership?
I leech off of my mother.
Let's go. No, that's the way to do it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. The whole family doesn't need their own card.
No, and it works. It works internationally too.
Yeah, we use Nicole's dad's.
I'm lucky that my brother doesn't have a Costco near him, because he might have to get the access to the family card if that ever happens.
That's where you find out, yeah, that somebody's been a undercover Costco agent this whole time. We got him.
Yep. It's all admittable as evidence. But yeah, Japanese Costco's whip, they are fantastic. due to the way we have prepared, we get prepared Western food. They get prepared Costco sushi. And it's good. All right, now I just want to make sure I'm not missing out on anything else here. Roll the belly in the type log, push the top of the cutting board, tie it up. Aha, that's when we add some salt and baking powder to the rub. So that's the last part. Okay, gloves on, folks. Let's get back to the rub down. Back to the rub down for the rub down. Perhaps this was a, taking the glove off was a poor choice.
This is whenever I like prime minis. I like take off the glove between each coating, and I'm like, what a silly decision.
I really should use gloves more often when I'm painting, but yeah. I just get up to the kitchen and scrub the still wet primer off my hands.
Captain Asparagus says, as a lab rat tip, blow into them first.
Ah. Yeah, that makes it a little bit easier. And they're going to get moist on the inside anyway, so it's not like I'm saving anything. All right, pork, come back to me. It's time to get all up in ya. So add the spice to the garlic. Give it a little stir. Oh, that makes a nice paste for adding. Let's take about half of that and pour it on here. Just really work that shit in. Get a bit more. Make sure it's somewhat even. The flavors will have time to meld and marinate on their own anyway, but okay, and similar on here. Just a nice little pork massage. I'm sure that's not causing conniptions for anyone. Okay. I like the look of this. So now we're going to have to attempt the roll, which was something that didn't go so well the last time I tried this, but this one feels like it's going to be a little bit easier to deal with. I think I'm going to roll from this side in, because this side will provide an outer crust rather than having a croissant shape. I don't know how people feel about the idea of a meat croissant, but
yes, it is. You know, it's my constant complaint about croissants.
Too much bread.
Not enough protein.
Yeah. Right, that was what I'm doing the opposite of what I wanted to do. There we go. Let's take that in and just really keep it nice and... oh, this is going so much better. And then a bit more. And that actually looks really kind of good. Let's see if I can go a bit tighter here, actually. Just really, really get it in. Okay, that's good looking. Now to do some tying. Let's give this a try. Everything's going to need to get wiped down. All right, let's do the center first, because the center will hold. The center will hold.
It's one of those times where it'd be nice if we had a third hand.
And not the soldering variety either.
Yeah. How have we not created some sort of meat hand holder thing?
Hand holder.
Yeah, similar to like you'd get for when you're painting or.
You gotta magnetize your meats first, and then you can just hold them up and spin them around. Yeah. But I think that's gonna hold its position, and it's going to be once it's in the vacuum seal. That should also help to keep it nice and tight. But oh hell! Good thing I had extra string on that. Also, I think actual kitchen twine is a bit more robust than the cotton thread I'm using, but we make do with what we can, and what we can make do with is not polyester rope, so we can be happy about that. Oh no, no, that's still there. Still holding. Don't worry, we will cut all of the threads off before we end up eating this. I think we even cut them off before the deep frying portion. But I think aside from the stray threads that are just ends, that's a porchetta. Now let's add some more of that salt and baking powder together. Yep, we're just gonna have to do it that way. Gloves back off. Now, if you can keep the fingers. There we go. I have torn too many gloves recently taking them off, so I'm a little bit gun shy about doing that right now. Okay, this one underneath the wrist. Make sure there's plenty of space for the air to get into the fingers. There we go. Let's blow into that. Make it ready for the next hand insertion. Name of my upcoming autobiography, The Next Hand Insertion with Ian Horner. 1 teaspoon baking powder. So it's actually going to be less than that because we have a smaller porchetta than is necessary. In fact, you know what I might do? I might just sprinkle that on. And then that way we're not overdoing it. The baking soda is mostly there to help draw out water, but also to assist in the browning. Fluffy's guinea pig, the yellow spice is baking powder. Just standard magic baking powder, I believe is the brand name. Other brands are available, but why would you? This is such an iconic container. All right, we got the bag sealed. Let's open that up. When you're doing a sealing with a vacuum sealer and you're doing sous vide with a messy meat like this, I like to definitely roll the edges of the bag back a bit so that you're guaranteed not to have any of the spices or garlic in the sealing zone. And trust me, you don't want anything in the sealing zone because then you just end up with a failed seal and you're not sous videing, you're just boiling at that point. That's not good. Almost fell into a Sonic the Hedgehog there for a second. Okay, we're back to gloves for a second, and then we'll be taking those gloves off for the last time, I think, once we get that meat in the bag. Then the next question is, and Ben, you might be able to help me answer that question, where do we put this for the next 36 hours?
Oh, that's a really good question.
Yeah.
My office?
I mean, a kitchen, your office is probably fine. I was thinking it would be fun to have it
It
on
could be on screen. I mean, if it would be kind of funny. I know we've got a watch along planned for tonight, but if it was just a camera pointed at the sous vide thing for
for 36 hours, I think that'd be
a
fantastic.
ham cam, yeah.
Well, let's see how much noise it makes first of all, and then we can
Sure.
make a decision on that. So the sous vide's pretty quiet, but pretty quiet to the human ear and pretty quiet to a studio microphone are two different things. Okay. Making sure we don't have fully even coverage, but just some decent little bit just to draw out all that flavor.
Yeah, the watch along with ham, cam, and cam.
Ham. Ham can.
Picture ham cam.
Just as long as we're not dealing with canned ham. Unless you like that sort of thing, which...
Is that not spam? I mean, I guess spam is
Ooh.
so much more.
Man, that's...
Do you know that spam's like expensive now?
Yes.
It's
and
not like
it's
a cheap
upsetting.
meal. Yeah.
It was really corned beef that got me.
Oh
recently.
yeah,
That's now up into the $7 a can thing.
that's wild.
Used to be able to have a nice corned beef and hash as a breakfast, and now it's an investment. I really like the looks of this. I think this is going to be delicious. Let's get it into the bag. Enter your sarcophagus, sir. All right, we're done for gloves now because everything is nice and clean. And look at that! I think I managed to get us back on schedule too. Alrighty, let's bring nothing back. Let's be smart and just push everything here forward. And now I have a nice clean surface to work with. Bring back the sealer, because that's always fun to observe. Okay, so let's get our clean areas exposed. Make sure there's nothing in the way. There's an errant garlic piece. Oh, thank you. All right, let's get that out of the way too. Who's ready to watch a bag lose all of its air? There we go, it's better that way. Let's get it roughly centered in the bag. And then enter the 36 chambers of vacuum sealing.
Insert your finger into the box.
Yes. Under pressure. Oh, we got plenty of space in here too for the liquid to move around. This is a good seal, friends. Let's just make sure it's a good seal. Give it a few tugs just to make sure that it's properly... Yep, okay. We're safe. This can now go into the machine. Let's bring the machine down.
Bring in the machine.
The machine. And nice to see you too. We're going to set this at a temperature of 155 degrees Fahrenheit or 68.3 degrees Celsius for the next 36 hours. So let's handle temperature. What was I cooking last time that required 155? Probably ribs. All right, and we want time. It's in there. It's going to come up to temperature eventually. I'm probably going to get a plate in here just to make sure that it stays below the surface of the water. But we'll then seal it up with some plastic wrap just to make sure all the moisture stays in. And then that'll be it. We'll see this friend again on Saturday morning for the finale of the Sub-A-Thon. Where we'll be taking this out, giving it a deep fry, and then slicing it up for fun.
We're trying a new thing instead of the crook that comes in and goes.
Yes.
You just descend into the hell zone.
All right, but that is going to do it for Tinker Tailor for tonight. Stay tuned. We got plenty of more Sub-A-Thon fun coming up, like the public domain movie night, where have we revealed what we're seeing tonight, Ben?
I don't know. I mean, I mentioned it last night in our Slack. I don't know if anybody talked about it in the upcoming things from the past day.
I don't know, but
yeah, we're going to be watching The Last Man on Earth, starring Vincent Price. Yeah,
looking forward to that.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun.
And then when we're done that, Graham, myself, and Dandy Geek will be going back to the lands of the lands between, the lands beyond, lands between.
Lands between, yeah, you got it.
And then going into the Shadow Realm.
Yeah.
Straight to the Shadow Realm for some Elden Ring seamless co-op. So that's going to be a lot of fun as well. That'll go to 2 a.m., at which point you'll be you'll have to deal with some reruns for a while. But James will return on Friday morning with who is going to be on the coffee.
Oh, I get to do this. Hold on. Well, I'll tell you. Yeah, tomorrow morning it's going to be James and Alex. Oh no, that was today. Tomorrow is Friday, so that's Kathleen and Jacob.
Ah, excellent. Good, not me, because I'm going to be tired.
You're going to be EP.
Yeah. But yes, that's going to do it for me for this portion of the Sub-A-Thon. Like I said, stay tuned. Thank you so much, everyone, so far for all your amazing support up there in the corner and all the way through the rest of the year. We're super happy to have you as our audience. So I guess, yeah, ever forward, never learning. Ever forward, learning out of spite. See you in a fortnight, never in Fortnite. Good night.